I had the opportunity at the British Militaria Forum's 20th anniversary shoot to talk one-on-one with a number of the attendees. I thought that this would make for an interesting topic, separate and apart from the main video. To that end, here are some of those rifles and the Victorian Riflemen who brought them. So Graham, I understand you brought a Snider to the range today.
I did. It's a Queen's Own marked 1872 Snider. It was carried in the Northwest Rebellion. Cool thing is with rifle regiments, they never had in the shoulder. They always did at the trail. There's actually a little bit of pitting on it for where they had their hand for when they were carrying it. So,
for heaven's sake.
Yeah.
So you said it was marked?
Yeah, Queen's Own marked. It's right there.
So Northwest Rebellion, that would have put the time frame of when?
1885.
85. So you've brought a Snider that is marked to a specific regiment, and fancy that, you happen to be wearing a certain shade of green.
Yes.
And could I hazard a guess to say that this is a representation of a Queen's Own Rifleman of the era?
It is, yeah, of the Northwest Rebellion around 1885.
Now, if you wouldn't mind, maybe we'll just talk a little bit about the kit that you're wearing. Maybe head to toe?
Yeah, sounds good.
So you've got it looks like a field service cap of sorts?
Yeah, so this is the first version that the Queen's Own were issued. You can see that it doesn't have two buttons on the front. That's what they were older for that. And right after they got issued Glengarry's, this is what replaced it.
Okay. Looks like a fairly conventional, traditional rifle green uniform.
Yes,
trousers. Any peculiarities for the Queen's Own rifles?
Just the shoulder titles.
Okay.
And it was actually interesting for the sergeants. They would actually take off the normal simple cuff with a mohair braid, and they actually put the Austrian knot on it.
Okay. And what are the insignia below the rank there?
That is a good conduct stripe and a long service.
Okay.
So it was a rifle. It was the Queen's Own specific badges.
And the long service denoted what?
5 years.
5 years?
5 years,
okay.
and there's another one with the crown and all that.
Okay. Obviously, it's a short Snider, so is the whole regiment armed with that style of Snider?
Yeah, it's around 1873. The Queen's Own actually got issued Sniders, and this is one of them. So before that, they had 3-band Sniders when they got issued them in 1868. So.
Okay. So the dates is issued 68 for the long Snider, and the short Snider came in
1870.
Okay.
1874.
So fairly quickly after.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
And that, of course, being a typical rifle that a rifleman would carry versus a line infantryman.
Exactly.
Right. And it does have a sword.
Yes, it
if
does.
I'm not mistaken.
And this is actually Queen's Own marked as well.
Let's have a look at that. Oh, so there it is. There we go. The ubiquitous number 2.
Yeah. And
there we are.
It does fit on.
Though not commonly fixed by riflemen.
No, never. Only in worst case scenarios.
Worst case scenarios. Yeah. Well, let's have a look at the shoe on the rifle. Let's see how the action. So it looks like a Mark III then, eh? Okay, it opens up and.
Yep.
Well drilled.
Thank you.
Graham makes all manner of leatherwork, including a high proportion of Victorian military accoutrements. You can find him on Facebook and on Etsy under Graham the Leather Guy. So what are we shooting today? A Needham rifle, is that right?
This is a Needham converted from a Springfield 62 block. It's got a Bridesburg 63 stock on it. I'll go for the big gong.
And the gong swings.
Now, it'll come out. Okay.
So what caliber is it?
5.77.
It is
or
5.7.
50.
So that's
It's really
essentially the same as the
58.
Snider, then.
58 long.
Yep.
And you have the extractor half moon in here.
Oh yes, okay.
And that's, if you want to get it past that, bring this up.
Yeah, give it a good whack.
No, that's not enough. There we go. So you have to give it, and this is what seals the action here. This piece on the, it's
The hammer nose.
pinned to the hammer nose. Comes back full cock.
Mike, I'm gonna pack that stuff up, take it back.
Nope.
Yeah.
Let's push on it a little harder. There you go.
And this was one of the problems here. You can see the indent in the stock here from this cam hitting it. And several of the Needhams that Ross and I have looked at would be cracked in here or otherwise damaged.
So very much an example of the era of the Snider, that late 1860s, early 70s
This was
conversion transition piece.
the Snider predated this, so did the first Allen, but the Fenians couldn't get, they tried to get the rights to make an Allen, but the government wouldn't give them rights to make the Allen, and they didn't go with the Snider. I actually prefer the Snider, and at the Battle of Eccles Hill, I think you find that the Sniders outperform the Needhams. However, you have to factor in the fact that most of the Fenians, the vast majority of them going into action with these guns, had never held one in their hands prior to the going into action. So, as Bill said, you have to slap it. You got to be a little familiar with it if you're going into battle.
What, I got a Mark II there, did I see?
I believe so, yes.
Let's have a look at the top of the shoe there. Oh yeah, there we go, 2 1-star.
It's a 2-1 star.
How long have you had that for?
About 3 months. So I have not had much
A new
practice
Snider
with it
shoe.
at all.
Excellent.
All right, so let's...
And what kind of loader are you using, Rob?
I'm using the exact same thing you recommended. It's 75 grains of powder, 2.8 cc's of cornmeal, the card wad, and a greased bullet.
Right on. And no problems loading and fire forming? And,
No,
and none today, that's for sure. Eh?
not at all.
It seems to be working nicely.
It is.
Well done.
The bore's a little shot out, so
Right.
it's not exactly accurate.
Very nice, thank you.
Thank you.
There you go.
Barry, is this your cover ladder?
It's my Commodore, yep.
Very nice. What do you shoot out of it?
We have a cartridge made to the 1861 pattern.
Okay.
This is a light load. It puts 60 grains. Normally it's like 95 grains.
Right.
It's made similar to the Enfield cartridges. So the powder cylinder powder, you'll put the bullet upside down. You'll see the wax ring there. And it'll break when you push it in, break it off. Yep.
Wow. Okay.
So why don't I hand the components to you one at a time and we'll have I got it. And that does work by eating it. Yeah. That's the scary bit.
One of the many scary bits for this, yes, indeed.
And now it's going to get scarier.
It's the thing of trying to do that without getting it in your face.
Good. Whoop. Yeah, there we go. Okay, now you have the safety is the stecker on it.
About 8 inches low, you said.
About 8 inches low. Yep. And it's a pretty heavy trigger.
With the gongs untroubled.
What's the 1840s, right?
This is 1842 design.
Yeah.
This is the 1849 model, made in 1850.
It's Got here today.
Well, this is a regular Martini Henry.
Yeah.
We have the Morris aiming. It's called the Morris aiming tube, or it's a subcaliber tube that fits in a Martini Henry, and takes a little cartridge, either a Morris short or Morris long. This happens to be a commercial one. It takes a Morris long cartridge, which is basically 22 caliber center fire, and it's used for gallery practice and for aiming practice. So they made these for Martini Henry rifle and Martini Henry carbines also. They also made a front sight cover that went over and raised it up so it would shoot to a point of impact, actually. Basically, you take the tube and insert it down the barrel, and you have a device that screws into the chamber.
Okay.
And works with the regular extractor on the Martini Henry. So you put this down in here.
You're welcome by there.
Bring it down into the breech. And push it into the breech. And basically there was a little tool to, and this holds it in position while you bring the rod down. And
everything else fits good.
now it's pretty snug.
And it just uses a O-ring to create that friction.
They originally had leather O-rings on them. So now we have this. Okay, Martin, see you in June. In position.
Looking forward to it.
And okay, and basically now you have a caliber chamber that functions with the regular
in the back.
extractor. Okay.
Oh, I appreciate you
And this
walking
is
us
the
through
cartridge that goes in.
The round 40.
And we can take it up and shoot it if you'd like.
I'll have to say yes to that.
I would suck.
Oh, that's a scream. Oh, that's great.
This was a state of Massachusetts gun. Apparently Peabody had a bunch of 43 Spanish left over from some contract, and the state of Massachusetts bought it for their militia.
Oh, I see. What year would that be now?
Late 1860s or early 1870s.
I see.
Right above and just a little to the left.
It's rocking it. I think that one.
What kind of rifle is that, John?
That is a Sharps-Borchardt, made from 1877 to 1881, 4570. In the 1877 international matches, it won all first three places.
Wow.
It was marketed in England by D&J Fraser, Edinburgh, Scotland, as the most accurate rifle for long-range shooting.
Wow.
Bar none, including the Martini Henry.
Very interesting.
Automatically goes onto a safety position. When you close it, you have to pull the back trigger to clear the safety,
Okay.
and then it will fire.
Interesting. Thank you very much. So Bill, what kind of rifle have you got here?
This is a green infantry rifle. They were made, designed by a Colonel Green, and they were made by the Ames Company in Massachusetts.
Okay.
It's a bolt action percussion, uses a paper cartridge, and has a ring hammer on the underside.
So a capping breech loader then?
Yes. And what's unusual about this gun is when you fire it, there's actually 2 bullets in the gun, but only one comes out. There's 1 bullet ahead of the charge and 1 behind the charge.
Well, that's interesting. Wow.
The loading procedure works like this. You push this button with your thumb, take your forefinger, push the bolt up. You just ram the bullet that was in the back into the chamber. Then you pull the bolt back, pull out a cartridge, and there's the bullet in the back.
Okay.
So you place the...
so the powder's in front of the bullet.
The powder's in front. And then you shut the bolt and stick a cap on. And after I shoot this, I'll reload it somewhat rapidly.
Okay.
And let's see, we'll shoot this gun here.
So we took this Douglas old barrel and put it in
Now,
so is that forward and back?
yes, we stick another one in. Then it's stick another one in. Wow. So once you're used to it, it's pretty quick.
Now, what year did this date from?
Early 1860s. The federal government only purchased 1,500, and 3,000 were sold to the Russians. Oh. For some, and now this gun also has Charles Lancaster oval rifling.
Wow.
And it shoots quite well. You know, off a bench at 50 yards, you can get a group like this with it.
Wow.
And I really like the gun and really have fun shooting it, and I just can't figure out why it wasn't more popular.
Is there a procedure for, in the state that it's in now, with the bullet rammed to the chamber, so sort of like an unloading procedure? Or
well, you'd have to pull the ramrod out and poke the bullet out.
Right, right. That's a very interesting rifle. The gas seal, I guess, would be partially by the bullet?
Well, it basically originally used the same method that like a monkey tail uses with a felt washer, a felt wad. Right. Now, I designed a urethane rubber obturator.
Okay, I can see it there, yeah.
That's right here.
Yep.
So when this plunger pushes on it, it swells.
Okay. So it's got like a...
Zero gas leakage,
wow. Yeah. And for instance, how many rounds have you shot in a row before fouling might take effect or something along those lines? Or?
I fired it 40 times and no issues whatsoever.
Wow. The caliber?
It's 54.
54.
Right.
And the powder charge?
I'm shooting a lighter powder charge of 45 grains.
Okay.
The original load I think was 55 or 60.
Okay.
But you get more accuracy with a lighter load.
Right, for sure. That's just a fascinating piece of machinery.
Yeah. Like I said, I really enjoy... Oh, and this is the only American Civil War gun that has a windage adjustable rear sight.
Huh. So was this used during the Civil War?
They were documented, they were used at the Battle of Antietam. And apparently they went into storage after that, because when you do find them at gun shows, they're generally in pretty good condition. Yeah. The bore on this was like mint.
Except for the fact that there's no rifling.
Pardon?
Except for the fact that there's no rifling.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Now, if you pull the bolt out,
yep,
and you look down the barrel, you can see a spiral.
You can just see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's 15 thousandths out around. Okay. It's essentially a 2-groove rifling that are rounded with no sharp edges.
Right, right. Well, it's one of the more interesting and successful rifling patterns around the world.
Now,
especially
currently
the black powder
there's a Russian company manufacturing a bolt-action rifle with the Lancaster Riflemen. And from what I read on the internet, and I think it's hard to believe, apparently Russia has separate laws for rifles, and it's technically classified as a shotgun.
Maybe that's because no one understands Lancaster rifling.
Yeah, but yeah, the Russians currently are selling a sporting bolt-action hunting rifle with Lancaster rifling. But of course you can't buy it because even before they invaded Ukraine, there was a sort of a embargo on Russian goods.
Wow. Well, that's a fascinating rifle, Bill. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, you're welcome. And then the other thing which is kind of interesting is, for being an early bolt action, it has 2 locking lugs.
Okay, yeah.
There's a locking lug on either side of the bolt.
And then you can just see the other one there.
Yeah.
Wow, so comparatively speaking, very strong action, I would expect.
Yes, and like a Krag rifle, U.S. Army military rifle from the early 1890s, that only had 1 locking lug.
Yeah. And this has only got, you say, 55 grains on a service charge?
Yes. Yeah.
So that's well within the parameters of keeping things safe, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Great. Thanks so much, Bill.
Okay, you're welcome.
You'd ever need.
Yes.
And
this I built from, these were a set of breech loading barrels that had the correct twist for a flint gun that I reworked and made into a muzzle loader. I breached it.
can you clear me?
Oh yeah.
That's just beautiful looking.
That's 24 karat gold. And then the wood that the stock was made from grew just over the hill here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Ebony ramrod. Show you this then. This is the turn screw.
So the other lock plate is threaded to receive that?
Right. Oh, it's pretty windy here. So anyway, this is the Manton style waterproof pans.
Waterproof pan,
right?
Oh, yes. What a work of art.
Thank you.
Wow. How many hours do you figure?
Oh, I've lost track.
Yeah.
Lost track.
I mean,
I did all the engraving myself too.
Wow. Magnificent, Bill.
Thank you. And then I'll show you how this case goes together. Yeah, this has hidden dovetails in the corners. Hidden mitered dovetail. Wow. So that's how these corners go together. And then these are all your accessories. We have, you know, the turn screw. And I wish I had some more of these. These are chargers. You put powder in one side and shot in the other. Speed loader. And cleaning brush. Ebony handle. And what else do we have here? Flint wallet. Put your spare flints in here. Fit in these little pockets.
Wow. That's incredible, Bill.
Thank you. And that's an original flask and an original powder powder flask and shot flask.
Wow.
But everything else is new.
Now we need a rag to weight this down.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for sharing.
Okay,
Bill.
you're welcome.
That's just magnificent work.
First type sapper carbine, East India Company. It's somewhat less beastly of a trigger pull.
That's the one with the trigger guard there.
Yeah.
You can see the lock plate there. So these are sort of, well, they're percussion smoothbores, so they're
Yes.
around the same era, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then this I got from IMA yesterday. This is a Victoria carbine, East India Company.
Oh,
Musket bore, I believe.
right. And intended for cavalry use.
Intended for cavalry use.
It's the captain
Considered to
bore,
be too heavy for native cavalry, but then again, there were those who said it was too heavy for regular cavalry as well.
right? And what have you been shooting out of them?
I have here made-up cartridges of 69 caliber ball and the Bill Curtis recommended load of 120 grains of double F black powder. A stiff charge.
Yes, the stiff charge.
A stiff charge. Do it. Load. Make sure that all goes down. Ball in. A non-regulation rod.
But loaded in the correct way, I see.
Cap. Totally destroyed target. Knocked over
Just
by
before
gale
you shoot it,
force
we're going to
wind.
get a shot of that. So this was the result of your last round you shot?
I think the weather helped considerably.
Right. I can feel how stoked that load is.
It is. It's not awful. I mean, I confess to wearing a sissy pad when shooting a Martini Henry, and this this doesn't hurt at all. It's quite pleasant.
Very nice. For all your Snider or Martini reloading needs, talk to Martin at X-Ring Services. If you're in need of exceptionally high quality and historic ammunition for your P53 Enfield, then stop by Brett's website, papercartridges.com. If you'd like to support the channel, please stop by our Patreon page. The link is in the description below. And for more information on projects and updates between videos, follow us on our Facebook page.